Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Nick Kane. He's managing partner at the Janek Performance Group. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, Gerhard. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about blended learning. What does that mean?
In our view, blended learning is something that is different modalities of training, right? Getting training to participants in different ways that ultimately helps drive towards the same outcome, which is performance improvement and skill application on the job, but delivering the training in different ways that is really based on the way that we believe salespeople want to consume training in today's environment.
How did you discover that fact that blending learning has a greater impact?
Well, we see this more and more as a request from our clients. In fact, we recently finalized a very large training initiative and rollout with a Fortune 100 insurance organization. And that's exactly what they were looking for. They were looking for something that was more of a blended learning solution that ultimately drove towards a flipped classroom environment, where a lot of the learning was happening outside of the classroom, and then the application was the focus when we brought salespeople together within a classroom environment. And they were seeing that there was just more and more of a need for the way that their salespeople were onboarding and coming into the organization. There was just a deeper need to deliver training outside of just a classroom environment.
How effective is online learning versus classroom learning?
I continue to believe that classroom learning still is the best modality for application of the skills and ultimately applying these skills to real-world examples. I do believe that e-learning or computer-based training, based on the technology that is offered and our approach to the way in which we design it, can still be highly effective in focusing on applications of the skills and ultimately still driving towards similar results. But we still believe that there is a time and place for bringing people together in a classroom. That goes back to that term of blended. You need to have a blend of stuff that happens away from the class, but also have an opportunity to bring people together as well.
To what degree do you use video in learning?
We use video often, right? Either in the classroom environment to reinforce how skills look in a positive way. At times we'll use videos to demonstrate what skills don't look like or what you don't want them to look like. We'll also use video to support our computer-based learning as well, to reinforce either demonstration of a skill. In some cases, much of the e-learning that we're developing now includes full-blown conversation models, where you are interacting almost in an augmented reality way with a client, and there's branching and whole conversations that you're having to help reinforce the application of those skills in a real sales environment.
So how long is the learning journey of blended learning?
It really varies depending on that job role and the number of competencies that individual needs to develop in order to be successful in their role. But we think there's typically a 90-day, 120-day window that is most critical. If you're delivering the training in whatever capacity, again, whether it's a blended learning solution, just instructor-led training, virtual instructor-led, there's a 90-day window that you have to keep those skills and behaviors in front of those learners most frequently. If you can do that consistently, you're gonna improve the return on investment and ultimately drive towards your desired performance.
What do you recommend to sales managers that are listening? What kind of metrics do you need to look at when you want to assess whether the training you've done has done the job?
One is you want to make sure that you're observing the behaviors that you're asking them to conduct. And I think that creates sometimes a gap within organizations because there's an assumption that managers understand the skills more deeply than a sales professional. But number two, I think from purely a metric standpoint or reporting standpoint, I think spend some time focusing on those leading indicators. Consider what the pipeline needs to look like. Consider what those activities need to be in terms of number of calls, number of visits, number of appointments, and work that through the pipeline. And I think you'll start to identify gaps more effectively than just focusing on the outcomes.
Nick, final question. To what degree do you build coaching skills into the curriculum so that you know that the manager follows up on the training you've delivered to the sales team? It's
critically important that somebody is reinforcing it. So I think the first question we're asking is, do you have managers that have the bandwidth and have the skill set to be able to reinforce and sustain these skills and coach to these skills over time. If not, then I think we recommend the right remedy to that answer, right? If it's a skill development opportunity, we have training programs that support developing coaching skills. If sometimes they have the skills, but they don't really know where to start in terms of activity. So we have playbooks and we have toolkits that support managers in coaching and reinforcing these skills as well.
How can people find more about your solutions?
The easiest way is just to visit our website. They can find us at www.janek.com. All of our programs are listed there. Our core services are listed there, and they can also reach out to us and contact us there as well.